Welcome back to the program. Our show is Capital Market and we're live on Channels Television. This is the show where you get the details of investments in the Nigerian capital markets, believe it or not. But now let's take a look at the African markets before we cross to the Nigerian stock market. We begin with the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, where the actual figure for this week, that's the index, ended at 5,777.2, and of course that changed by 9.78 basis points. The daily change is 1.89%, but it is in the negative territory, while the week-to-date performance stands at 1.66%. The Egyptian Stock Exchange also had a 1.04 positive change yesterday and stands in green zone at 0.80% in terms of week-to-date performance. When you take a look at the Nairobi Stock Exchange, that's the all-share index of that market is 3,201.55. And of course, the Ghana Stock Exchange hangs in at 1,731.11. Now over to the Nigerian stock market. We'll do a review of how the market ended this week. The Nigerian equities market reversed last week's gains due to cautious trading by investors who liquidated their positions owing to poor earnings results. The all-share index declined 1.10% to close at 27,294.21. Total volume traded increased by 0.59% to 678.71 million shares, valued at 6.87 billion naira and traded in 11,808 deals. Market breadth remains negative with 21 gainers, topped by Keverton against 40 losers, led by Fidson PLC. Banking stocks dominated market activity by volume and value, with FBN Holdings, Access Bank, FCMB and Zenith Bank accounting for 66% of total volume traded during the week. As the release of Q3 earnings draws to a close next week, investor sentiment is expected to favor the resilient companies and, of course, other sectors. This week we had the 20th conference of stockbrokers, the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers. It took place in the prestigious Eco Hotel in Lagos, and of course issues around market sustainability were discussed. Let's take a listen at some of the things that were discussed during the session. Yeah, we have the president of the CIS, that is Mr. Oluseyi Abe, as well as one of the politicians, or a politician so to say, who was also present at the meeting. He laid bare his thoughts as well concerning the markets.
The theme of the conference: building new pillars and creating new values for sustainable development. It is important we know that the theme speaks to development, which naturally should be a corollary of growth. There could be growth without development, as has been the case in the past. But we believe that growth should be equitable, and equitable growth and development should be holistic targets, objectives of nations tending towards true prosperity. We believe that Nigeria is too blessed with both natural and human resources to romance poverty instead of prosperity. The reason all hands should be on deck towards recreating and redirecting our economy for equitable growth and development. We are presently in a crisis, a time of difficulty when important decisions and actions must be taken. We commend government's efforts in these challenging times. It is tinkering with the sale of state assets and exploring the international capital market to raise funds for deficit spending to stimulate growth in the economy, just as CBN is working assiduously to enhance the inflow of dollar to alleviate the constraints of businesses. We commend the Apex Bank for the reintroduction and remodeling of the floating single foreign exchange rate policy. It is a bold and positive initiative which is in accordance with the tenets of democratic capitalism, which highlights market-driven systems, free participation within individual limitations, and the invisible hand.
The diversification that comes readily to my mind, which I said he mentioned is one of his sub-themes, is agriculture. We cannot fail with agriculture. It won't survive the country. Different regions operating separately, all of them pursuing agricultural products. And they are doing fantastic projects. But now we seem to have forgotten that particular industry, sector that brought us up in the first instance before the emergence of oil. So if you can go back to agriculture, it's going to do us a lot of favor. The issue of food security will be solved. And the issue of agro-allied industry, you mentioned industrialization as well, but it's not limited to some kind of industry. We can have agro-allied industries. And these agro-allied industries, in whatever form they are, whether beverages, food, whatever, there's going to be raw materials for them. And at the end of the day, they will also be quoted on our market. And finally, we will have our commodity exchange. We have commodity exchange, I'm not sure is really in existence. We have one in Abuja. I don't know whether the platform is very active. But if it goes full scale agriculture, we can revive it. It's an in thing in some other countries. We also can do it.
Well, that's the much we can take on the show tonight. I'm Temple Ashaju, wishing you a gracious weekend. I'll see you next time, and it's bye for now from me.